Good dawning to thee, friends. It's Jennifer here, and welcome to episode 12A of Sonnet Sisters. In this episode, I'll be doing a blind reading of sonnet number 12. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Ooh, I've heard of this one. I think this was in the play that I did with David Robertson. If you watched his interview, we talk about that very briefly. We were in a play about sonnets, and I think this sonnet was in the play. So I have heard this before. Okay, let's see what I remember. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet pass prime, and sable curls all silvered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see barren of leaves, which erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the bier with white and bristly beard, then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the wastes of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. And nothing 'gainst time's scythe can make defence, save breed, to brave him when he takes thee hence. Cool, well that was a bit easier to read, but like I said, I do know this sonnet a little bit, at least it sort of rings a memory bell in my mind from having heard it before. I didn't speak it in the play that I did before, but it was in there, so I definitely have heard it before. Okay, so I'm going to go away and write down a line-by-line interpretation of this sonnet. So the basic gist of this that I'm getting is when I see everything in nature slowly decaying and people getting old and nature getting older, you know, leaves turning brown and old people's hair turning white and all that kind of thing, it makes me think of the fact that you're going to have to die as well. You're going to have to waste away and your beauty won't last forever and you're going to disappear. And the only way to stop that from happening is to breed. That's the basic gist of this. Kind of similar to a lot of the other sonnets that we've read so far. This is another procreation sonnet. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, the first 17 sonnets from 1 to 17 are all part of the procreation sonnet group, which are convincing a young man of 17 years old to get married and have children. So I'm now going to go through and do a line-by-line interpretation of what I think each line means. Here we go. There's still a lot that I'm not 100% sure of in terms of exact meaning, but the general sense comes across quite clearly. So when I look at a clock and see the hands moving round and hours going by, and watch day turn into night, when I see flowers that have gone past their prime, when I see flowers that have gone past their best, and I see hair turned to grey and white. I'm not sure what sable means, but curls, like these. When tall trees have got no leaves left on them, when before they were covered in leaves, completely covered. And the greenery of summer is, I'm not sure, all girded up in sheaves. I think this is talking about bundles of hay. So hay is all, you know, dried out grass and dried out straw. It's, you know, it's not green anymore and it's all very brittle and sort of dead. So, and the greenery of summer all bundled up in bundles of hay. Born on the briar with white and bristly beard. I'm not sure about that line, so we'll come back to that in the analysis. Then I start to question your beauty and think about the fact that you will have to die at some point too, since all nice, sweet and beautiful things come to an end and they die just as quickly as new things grow. And nothing can stop or avoid death except to have children in order to fight or stand against death when it comes for you. So that's the basic meaning of this poem. It's interesting that, again, Shakespeare himself has crept in, or if not himself, literally, at least the character of the speaker, the writer, is bringing it from his own perspective. When I look at this and this, when I'm wandering around in my life, I think of you. That's the first underlying thing going on here. You know, when I see things dying, I think about you and the fact that you're going to die. And I guess that it feels like there's an implied thing of, I don't want that to happen, or that makes me sad. And if only you would have children, because that would stop this awful thing that's going to happen, or if not stop it, at least stand against it in some way. So yeah, this is a much more sort of romantic, with a small r, approach to the sonnets, instead of sort of chiding him and telling him off, saying you've got to have kids, otherwise you'll be eaten by worms. It's a much softer approach of this very beautifully painted imagery of when I see flowers that are past their prime, and I see the trees that don't have any leaves and these curls turning white. You know, you can see these things happening in your mind. So it's a really lovely visual painting of images of what's going on, and then saying, when I see those things, I think about you. So this is a much softer, gentler approach to persuading this young man to have children, I feel, than a lot of the rest. I've no idea really yet what I'd like to do with this for performance. Do let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. I'd love to hear from you. As I have with some of the other sonnets, my mind goes to the place of having a much older person speaking this to a younger person, but I don't want to dress up as an old lady. So I'm sure I'll find some other way around it, but probably diving into that lovely romantic feel. But who knows, when I go through the analysis, maybe I'll find another angle and might decide that a completely different route is the one that I want to take. But yeah, for now, that's what I get from it. It's a softer approach, a bit more gentle, nice visual painting going on, very romantic with a small r, and with a basic message of, when I see nature slowly decaying, it makes me think of you and the fact that you're going to have to die at some point too. I don't want that to happen. Why don't you have kids? And that will do something to stand against your inevitable demise along with the rest of nature. It doesn't sound quite so romantic when I say it like that. But still, there you go. That's the rough meaning of that one. So I'll be diving into a further analysis of this sonnet in episode 12b, which will be released on Wednesday, so look out for that. And I'll be diving into the phrases and words and lines that I didn't fully understand in this one, and who knows what else we'll unpack in that analysis section that I haven't seen today. So join me on Wednesday for that analysis. Until then, see thee anon.
What was he on about? My body, mister, come figure it out with the Sonnet Sister.